How's it going, everybody? It's Young here with 40 facts about Resident Evil 7 that we learned from E3 2016. Let's dive right into it. Number 1. The game's official title is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard in the West, and Biohazard 7 Resident Evil in Japan. I see what you did there, Capcom. Number 2. The reason for this naming convention was because the developers wanted to merge the two titles to give off the sense of the series being in one place right now, having one future it's heading towards. Number 3. It was hinted that the title Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is a clue as to what's going on in this game. Number 4. The game runs on a brand new game engine called RE Engine, which was developed in-house from the ground up specifically for Resident Evil 7, although there are plans to use the engine for future titles. Number 5. Resident Evil 7's genre is strictly survival horror. Number 6. The game currently has a playable teaser called Beginning Hour that can be downloaded exclusively from the PlayStation Store if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber. Number 7. Game director Koshi Nakanishi confirmed that the demo isn't a slice of the final game. Rather, it was intended to showcase the general feel of Resident Evil 7 and to showcase that they are going back to the horror roots of the series. It's a tonal preview rather than a content preview, and a purpose of intent to say that horror is back. Number 8. For Beginning Hour, the developers intentionally decided to focus on analog devices like VHS, CRT TVs, and camcorders to bring a grungy feel to horror. Number 9. The final game will also feature audio cassettes. Number 10. Beginning Hour focused on two Resident Evil pillars, horror and exploration. Number 11. It was confirmed that the final game will feature other familiar pillars as well, including puzzle solving, resource management, and combat. Number 12. While combat will be in Resident Evil 7, it was stated that the game won't be a gunfest. While there will be some gunplay, there will be situations in which the best course of action is to run away. Number 13. There will be weapons and items throughout the game that will give players the advantage over adversaries or over certain situations. The game's about how players use the scarce items to make it through terrifying situations. Number 14. Resident Evil 7 is meant to take the main series back to horror, with action-based shooter-style Resident Evil games being released as spin-offs in the form of something like Umbrella Corp. Number 15. Resident Evil 1 was a huge inspiration for Resident Evil 7, with the goal being to go back to the franchise's roots and have players experience the same fear that they did back in 1996. Number 16. For Resident Evil 7, the developers decided to throw out ideas that wouldn't serve as horror, like open world or online content. Number 17. Resident Evil 7 will play in first-person view, with the intention being to put players in the character's shoes and immerse them in the setting as much as possible to enhance the horror aspect of the game. Number 18. The player character will be a brand new character who will be less of a superhero or a veteran soldier and more of a powerless, ordinary person in an extraordinary situation. They are meant to be a representation of the average person and the average video game player. The developers hope that this will serve to bring out a sense of helplessness. Number 19. Rather than featuring a massive global-scale conflict like Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 7 will bring it back to basics, and it will focus on one person in one location for a more intimate, personal scale of horror. The developer specifically hinted at a mansion-like setting, which is similar to the first Resident Evil game. Number 20. Beginning Hour's Derelict Plantation Mansion may not be the setting of the final game. According to the developers, Resident Evil 7 won't just be comprised of a series of corridors in and around an opening area like in Beginning Hour. 21. The atmosphere from 70s and 80s American horror movies, the lonely house in the fields or in the middle of nowhere in the countryside where there's nobody to call for help, was a big inspiration for making Resident Evil 7's setting Southern United States. Number 22. Inspiration was also taken from B-rank horror movies. The goal is not to make a bombastic AAA product, but rather to make the best B-rank horror movie type of experience, which allows them to focus more on horror and an intimate experience. Number 23. It was stated that there is one particular work that tremendously influenced Resident Evil 7, but game producer Masachika Kawada refrained from revealing it, as it could spoil the game. Number 24. Resident Evil 7 is not a reboot, it is an extension of the series so far. It takes place in the same universe as previous numbered games in the series, and it takes place after the events of Resident Evil 6. The beginning hour demo confirmed that the year might be 2017. Number 25. The developers intentionally made it so that when fans first play Resident Evil 7, they'll think, how could this possibly be related to the rest of the Resident Evil series? But the developers promise that there is a connection and that we will see how this pans out once we play the final game. Number 26. It was hinted that the game will feature a symbolic relationship to previous titles, some of which is represented in Beginning Hour. Number 27. The game will also feature many familiar series tropes like herbs, which have been confirmed to make a return for Resident Evil 7. Number 28. While the developers do believe that Resident Evil 7 will feel like a Resident Evil game once people play it, they also want players to put aside the storyline and elements they know from previous Resident Evil games and approach Resident Evil 7 anew. Number 29. As far as the possibility of returning characters and entities from past games, despite taking place in the same universe, Resident Evil 7 will feature a whole new set of characters and situations. Number 30. The reason for starting fresh in Resident Evil 7 was to make the game less predictable, rather than featuring an iconic character that you know will probably make it through the end of the day. With a new character, you don't know what their ultimate fate will be. Number 31. A sense of mystery will be a big part of Resident Evil 7. Game director Koji Nakanishi specifically alluded to when the original Resident Evil was released in 1996, when people wondered, where am I? What's happening to these people? What are these enemies like? Where are they going to come from? What's the story behind them? His goal is to bring back these feelings. This sense of mystery is also another reason for the new characters and the new story. Number 32. Resident Evil 7's writer is Richard Piercy, who wrote Spec Ops: The Line and Fear. He is the first Western writer on a major Resident Evil title. Number 33. Resident Evil 7 will support PlayStation VR. It was also noted that the first-person camera was decided upon even before they decided to implement VR. It wasn't VR that drove to first-person camera. It was the first-person camera that eventually led them to implement VR. Number 34. Regardless of whether players play Resident Evil 7 with VR or not, the content will be exactly the same. VR will be completely optional. Number 35. The developers reassure fans that Resident Evil 7 won't be some sort of supernatural occult ghost story. They reassure that they haven't thrown away Resident Evil as it exists and that it will make sense in the end. Number 36. Resident Evil 7 will not be the kind of game in which you'll be mowing down zombies. There will be fewer enemies, but each one will pose a significant threat. Number 37. There will be no QuickTime events in Resident Evil 7. Hell yes. Number 38. According to game producer Masachika Kawada, the key art of Resident Evil 7 and the shirts given out during E3 2016 offer some big clues regarding the game. Number 39. As of E3 2016, the game is 65% complete, according to an interview with Famitsu. And finally, number 40. The game will launch on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on January 24th, 2017. So there you have it, folks. 40 facts about Resident Evil 7 from E3 2016. Thank you for tuning in. If there's anything that I missed, let us know in the comments below. And to be further updated on gaming news, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.